Hello, Kenny.
Hey, Rabbi.
Long time.
Not that long.
Just a few
2 days,
days.
3 days, 4 days. I
Yes.
don't know what it's been. It's been a blur. It was really amazing to see you at KFWE. It was great to see all the faces, but particularly you. And you know what? It's crazy because I need to get a picture from you because I don't have a picture of the two of us. You must have taken those.
I took a few pictures of the two of us.
And I made a reel, and I'm like, I can't even have a picture of my podcast. I got to edit that in, so I need one of you. So this is an idea we came up with. We're doing a tznius halftime show for all of our wine listeners. You could tune off the Super Bowl, tune in, Rabbi Bernath and myself. We have 15 minutes. We're keeping it tight tonight.
The Kosher Wine Podcast Halftime Show live.
Kind of live. Pretty
Kind of.
live. It's only a couple hours away, right?
Absolutely.
This is like, I don't think I've ever cared less about the Super Bowl, so I'm not going to give any insight on that. But do you? No?
I care a
No?
lot about wine and kosher
That's
wine
right.
specifically.
Yes, we're here. This is the halftime of the wine podcast show or something like that.
Exactly.
Anyway, we have a lot to discuss in a very short time because we really are going to keep it hopefully to 15 minutes. I know that you set up a stopwatch. We never do that, right? And we just
Yes.
always have so much to talk about, and we're already probably 2 minutes in, haven't even started
13
yet.
minutes, 25 seconds to go on our halftime show. So
So
you and
go.
I go to KFW for two different reasons. I go to taste wine, you go to schmooze. And between the two of us, we schmooze and taste wine.
We cover a lot of ground. Which that's going to bring me to my first. We talked about this last year, and so many people mentioned it to me. And I have the same problem every year is that I can't make it to every table.
It's
Can't
impossible.
make it to every table. There's not enough time. I know that's complicated to like no one. It's difficult to make it another hour or 2 hours, but it's not enough time. I can't. I honestly like. I talked to the next day. I talked to Asaf Paz from Vic, and I'm like, I don't even know. I didn't see you there. I didn't see you. I'm sure you did, right?
I saw him, but I saw your reel, and there's so many people that I didn't see there that you
So that's
saw.
crazy. So that's crazy. Or, and this, I'm just going to throw this out there. Maybe they should make Israel one day and like the rest of the world, like they split into tours, maybe make that two days.
Please,
Like Somalia Tel Aviv is a 2 day event. And I
please.
think there are probably as many tables at this event, if not more, than there are at Somalia Tel Aviv, which is a 2 day event.
I think there's a lot of people coming from out of town. We make a big effort, not only us, the winemakers. There's a lot of effort that is made for this. The least that we can have is at least 2 days, or at least a few more hours. Maybe 2 days is better. Two 4-hour days.
Right. And someone mentioned to me that, if you're really coming to do business, which this is a trade show, it is not a public show, you don't have time to get up to a lot of the tables if you're a salesman and talk to them. It's just you're not gonna see everyone, you're not gonna see everything. And that is my biggest criticism once again on the event is that it's just not long enough.
Yeah, I saw Drew Kaplan at the coat check, and he was like, "I can't believe that I'm just seeing you now for the first time at the coat check." I said, "I know, and probably there's hundreds of people just like you that we just didn't run into each other."
I saw people on my way out. So I would say that's my biggest criticism. I hate to start with the bad stuff, but like what would you say your main if you have any criticism, what would be yours?
So I come to taste wine, and it's an opportunity to taste a lot of the new vintages. And actually, I know I'm crazy, but I can't be the only one who does this. I actually made a list of all the new vintages that I wanted to taste, and I had a list of 70 wines that I know have recently come to North America, and I wanted to taste them. And I had spoken to a couple of winemakers before, what's going to be there. Of the 70 wines, there were only about 15 that were present.
Wow. Wow.
And that really bothered me. I don't know how that happened. And again, I'm not here to criticize, but
Right.
I mean, Jacob uh, from Jezreel had one of the bottles that he brought with him from Israel in his suitcase. So that was really nice. But aside from that, and there was that new Raziel bubbly that made it. Besides for that, there were a few more, and that's it. And there's so many great new wines. Like I walked by one table, and the winemaker kind of turns to me and says, "Are you not tasting anything?" And I said, "Honestly, there's nothing new here." And he kind of was like looking down at me. He's like, "You're right. There's nothing new here."
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I did notice that, but I probably not as acutely as you because that's not main reason I'm there. But yeah, that's unfortunate. I wonder what the reason that we're gonna have to dig up some reasoning for that behind the scenes during the
Yeah.
week.
I'm sure we'll
But
get some comments from this
yeah,
from some
well, yeah. I
people.
mean, that's I'm sure there's a reason for that. Um, but on a positive note, I thought, once again, it was great to see. There's so many people come to this event. There's so many winemakers come, and so many
Yeah.
people from the wineries and representatives and salespeople, people in the industry. And I love. And I was so close to not coming this year. It was so difficult for me to go. And you and I are both busy, but I'm like, I just know how much enjoyment I get out of seeing all these people and the faces and having the it's the biggest reason I do this stuff. I love the people and I love that atmosphere.
There is a really nice, tight-knit group of kosher wine people. And
Hmm.
as the years go on, I see it's becoming like it's a little family in a way. You
Yeah.
know,
What do you think about that, this year, for the most part, Royal is basically done with their public events, right? The only ones that are at all public are the Miami one, but that's run as a private by Women's
Weezo,
International Zionist
yeah.
WITO, and I think Houston has one that's run in the same
And
fashion.
London, I think, also is open to the public.
Which one?
London.
London is available. I've
Yeah.
actually never been to that one. One of these years, gotta go. We gotta go.
Yeah. Some people were saying
We'll
that
get on the Kosher Wine podcast raft and we'll float over there
exactly.
across the
Apparently,
pond.
it's a rite of passage going to the London one.
I gotta get to that. That's not a. I can't go for one day to that. That'll be like a week thing. We'll see all of our friends over there. How much time do we have left? I have a bunch of things I want to discuss.
We
They're
have
like,
7 minutes and 58
okay,
seconds
okay.
before.
Quickly, I just want to make a point that I wrote this down. I like that Royal puts out water. That's like I go to so many wine events and no one ever thinks that. And there's nothing to drink but wine. They put out water bottles, and that's great that they do that. Um,
You always double your water to wine. That's the secret.
and then you're in the bathroom 3 times as much.
You're in the bathroom 2 times as much, but tomorrow morning you're going to be
Yeah,
happier.
that's perfect. Yeah, it's perfect for a 4 hour drive home. I did this year. I went home right afterwards with a friend of mine, and it was great. Whirlwind. I love the location. It's something I wrote about. For me, it's great. I know probably Brooklyn people get annoyed, but I think for the rest of the world it makes sense because, especially what is a factor in this. I was talking to someone who went to one of the other events, the other event, KWE. New York City was like not shoveled out at all. And you can blame it on whoever you want, but like parking and driving around like Brooklyn and Manhattan was a nightmare supposedly. And so like everyone I think should be thanking their stars that it was in the Meadowlands in a very accessible area. I thought that was more important this year than ever.
I actually did go to KWD for the first time this year, and I have a lot of comments on that as well. I know
And we're
it's
gonna have
not
to
for
discuss
this.
that in our next
Yeah,
one.
we have to discuss that because it was fantastic. I loved it. And my favorite part of it, I must tell you,
Mhm.
major bragging rights. Major bragging rights. I don't know if how many other people got this, but they had this four bottle blind
The
thing.
blind thing, I know they do that.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea. Yeah.
And I got all four.
Well, that's why you're the co-host of the Kosher Wine podcast.
Sometimes you think you're
No, I
you're
think I'm
you
actually, it's
don't know what you're
very
talking
difficult to
about. You
do
don't
that
have that
stuff.
confidence. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it. And they weren't
Oh, that's
easy.
amazing.
And one of them I hadn't tried
That's amazing. Look,
before, I
look
mean.
at you.
Yeah.
Look at you. Master sommelier. What did you think about the food? Did you eat any of the food?
The food at KFWE.
Yes.
I didn't have much to eat. I was pretty busy with the wine,
Hmm.
but I'm always happy that it exists. And I know some people go to Fress, and I know Jewish events. Maybe I think there's other probably trade shows in the world where food is not a thing. But if you do any kind of Jewish event, there must be a schmorg there, and they had a nice schmorg.
Yeah, well, it is called still to this day KFWE, which
Right.
it's gotten further and further away from the. It used to, as most people probably know, it was vendors, restaurants. Which honestly, as nice as that sounds, it doesn't work well for most of these things. It's very hard for restaurants to do these types of events and for their food to show well. So I think it was very smart to move to the caterer when they did a few years ago. and have a caterer handle the whole thing. I don't eat a lot of food. I always like nibble on some sushi, but I walked around looking at it and it looked good. I did see there was one vendor there, Sizzle and Slice, I think was the name, and I
Mhm.
and I had a piece. I don't eat that much of this stuff anymore, as you can tell by my lithe exterior. But it looked really good. I thought it showed well. I think people, for the most part, liked it. And I just wanted to point out that I like that idea of caterer doing it instead of
People like
vendors.
those handmade pizzas that they were doing, those kind of meat
Yeah,
pizzas.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
That
well,
was really
that's
popular.
yeah. And it's easy to do that at an event like that because you can make them fresh. Like so many, like if you have reserve cuts show up, it's so hard for them to show anything in
Hmm.
the way it's like it's going to actually be in their restaurant. So I think cater away is the way to
The
go.
one thing that
Um,
everybody was commenting on was that big Manischewitz booth.
oh yeah, yeah.
That was really
Did you stop
something.
at that? They
I
were
did
giving
not
out.
stop at it, but people were talking about it, and I saw people walking out with Manischewitz stuff.
Yeah, and they had the truck at the entrance. Did you notice that?
I did
The
notice that.
the
Yeah.
Manischewitz truck? Yeah. That's actually pretty cool. I like what Manischewitz is doing with its kind of rebranding. Um, the wines I thought otherwise, like I did have um I stopped right at I always generally go right to the French table, but I went this year, I saw Arnaud Bayot, like it was right by the entrance, and I stopped there and I spent like 15 minutes with him, which
It's
is a
really
big chunk of
something.
time. Sorry.
We need to have him on the podcast. He's
Yeah, yeah, I
really
know. He said
something.
he will. And yeah, Burgundy, it's hard to go anywhere after that. But interestingly, I'll tell a fast story, is that he said I was schmoozing with him and he said, which wine should I taste? And we were in the international room and I brought him over because it was their first time pouring, which was very cool. It was at the Shiraz table. They are now under the Royal Empire, and they were pouring their wines. It was so great to see them, and I was very curious what Gabe or Shimon, I don't remember who poured it for him, would pour for him. But I'm 99% sure that they poured because I was started talking to someone else. But I think they poured the vintage whites, which I thought was interesting, and he said very nice things about it. And I knew anything. I just wanted to give him something different than Burgundy is elegant and feminine. Like I wanted him to get smacked in the face with some California wine.
That definitely Shimon and Gabe would smack him in the face with some California wine. And those vintage whites, which was a labelless bottle, that was also a brand new bottle that they brought. They must have brought that themselves. And that was a great bottle. And also the new Power to the People, which I hadn't had, which
Yeah,
was really that was yum. And it's so good to see them there. I was
yeah,
amazed
great
that they
stuff.
now are
Yeah,
being carried by Royal.
yeah. I hope it's great for them. They
Yeah.
deserve it. They worked so hard, and I hope that pays off. That should be a great relationship for both sides. How much time we have left here?
We've got a minute 57.
Okay, well, what were your like overall thoughts, and what would you do the same, or what would you do different next year, or
So
any other thoughts?
all the pros, we all go right to France. And that's always the way to go. You start. I know that it's hard to go anywhere else afterwards,
Yeah,
but those French wines, and I just go right through all of the French wines I haven't tasted before.
yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, there's part of that is, not to make this sound ridiculous, but a lot of these wines I can't afford. And like if I'm going to taste them, it's going to be there. And Menachem Israelovich really has done such a great job in Europe and specifically in Bordeaux, to create a lot of these wines. And you see that really started the process.
Yeah.
Now you see so many more wines coming from Spain and Italy and just great stuff that we were really lacking, I think, in the kosher world. How did you find the Israel room?
This room was always really amazing. So I didn't get there till probably halfway through because I stayed in the international room for a lot longer than I usually do. And the Israel, I mean, there's so many interesting Israeli wines. I was happy to see that Razil had some. They've become a little more affordable. We had spoken about that before. Uh, that was nice to see. That new 1848 Argaman. I like, and we've spoken about those
It's always
kinds
so
of.
nice when there's
Yeah,
indigenous varieties.
yeah, and also to see that a lot of the Israeli winemakers are going back to their Mediterranean roots, and you see a lot
Yeah,
more Mediterranean grapes. That was really, really obvious in the Israel room this year compared to any other year.
yeah, yeah. I think that's true, and you're seeing more of that. And there was another new winery, Ben Porat. I
Yes,
don't know if you got over
yes.
there. So it's great. I think it was overall really well done. I just, those couple things. I wish it was longer. I really wish it was longer. I wish we had more time. And I'd have had more time to talk to you. But yeah, you're
Absolutely.
just so I think overall well done. Go Super Bowl, go whatever, whoever you want to win should win.
Go my
I actually
favorite sports
don't
team.
go sports team. I'm an Orioles fan. NFL that. All right, but this was good. Great to see you, and we're gonna do another one soon because we have a lot to talk about. All the events that we've both been doing and KWE. I want to hear your recap. I unfortunately couldn't be there because I had an event that night, but all that. But I think it was great to see you, KFWE.
Great
Right?
always to see you. And that is the end of our 15 minutes. So,
Boom, nailed it.
boom.
All right, see you all soon. Chaim.
L'chaim.